Hey Pokemon fans, Tamashii here. Last week I made a list of the top 10 worst legendary Pokemon. And of course, everybody immediately wanted to know what the opposite list would be, the top 10 best legendary Pokemon. I decided to rank the legendary Pokemon on the worst list based on their abilities in battle, to show that not every legendary out there was super overpowered. So this list will be determined the same way, and the Pokemon will be ranked by just how good they are in battle, and not based on how cool their design or lore is. Unfortunately though, the problem with having so many legendary Pokemon that are all so powerful is that stacking them up in the same way sort of makes them seem less special. With over 20 different super powerful legendaries out there at this point, it sort of minimizes the impact of each individual legendary Pokemon, especially when you put so many side by side. So instead of a top 10, today I'll be counting down the top 5 best legendary Pokemon, to show who the real cream of the legendary crop are, and to give them all a little bit more space on that pedestal to shine. Number 5. Lugia. Some say battling in Generation 2 was all about stall tactics, and this is definitely reflected in his legendary Pokemon. Though battling these days seems to be more about priority and all-out offense, Lugia is just such a fantastic wall that it can shut down most any opponent. Its high speed and super heavy bulk lets it set up screens with ease, and with Roost it can recover HP and stay in the game for days if it has to. While offensive power seems to be what most legendaries are renowned for, defensive power like Lugia shouldn't be overlooked. Being able to outlast the heavy hitters, it can take out even the biggest threats in the game without taking so much as a scratch. Much like the whirlpools that guard Lugia's den, this Pokemon's defense is completely impenetrable. Number 4. Kyurem. Kyurem could have easily made the top 10 worst legendary Pokemon list, had it not been for Black and White 2 introducing new forms for it. It was essentially the Zygarde of its generation, with the other two legendaries in the trio, Reshiram and Zekrom, vastly outperforming it. However, with the DNA splicers came Kyurem's salvation, and its beefed up stats and improved typing not only fixed it, but made it one of the top legends around. Its white form has a base 170 special attack, giving it the most powerful Draco Meteor attack in the entire game, and its ice typing now works to its advantage, giving it a means to take out dragons that previously could have squashed it flat. The black form is slightly less useful just due to a few flaws, like the lack of physical moves to make use of its 170 base attack, but it's still nothing to be sneezed at. As a legendary Pokemon on its own, Kyurem is still rather laughable, but its white form took it from underdog to destroyer of worlds. Number 3. Ho-Oh. Just when you thought stealth rocks were out to ruin your childhood, here comes Ho-Oh to prove you wrong. All it takes to survive, and still be useful after so many years and a times 4 weakness to the most notorious entry hazard, is bulk like Lugia's, a base 130 attack, and Sacred Fire with a 50% burn chance. Now that might be a lot to ask from any ordinary fire type, but Ho-Oh is far from ordinary. It's legendary. Ho-Oh might not be perfect, but with Flame Charge to boost its mediocre speed, and the Sun to amp up its firepower even more, it can fry just about any foe. Though hard to come by, its hidden ability Regenerator can help mitigate the Stealth Rock damage, and keep this Phoenix soaring out of the ashes again and again. The only thing scarier than a Pokemon you can't dent, or a Pokemon that can one-hit KO just about anything it comes up against, is a combination of the two, and Ho-Oh fits that bill perfectly. Number 2. Arceus. It's hard to compete with a Pokemon that can do just about anything, and do it all frighteningly well. But what else would you expect from what's basically the god Pokemon? Unsurprisingly, Arceus is an absolutely terrifying Pokemon to come up against. It has the highest base stat total in the entire game of any unmega evolved Pokemon, and its ability Multi-Type allows it to turn into any of the 18 types, depending on what elemental plate it holds. So just so you know, we do technically already have a Poison-type legendary Pokemon. Arceus' huge move pool and versatility gives it more roles to pick from than any other Pokemon. It can sweep, spin block, support, act as utility, wall, counter. Just about any possible role Pokemon can play on a team, Arceus has covered, and with completely uber stats no less. Ever hear the phrase jack of all trades, master of none? Arceus is the master of all of them. This Pokemon is anything and everything you want it to be. The Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. But oddly, not the end of this list. And the number 1 best legendary Pokemon is Mewtwo. While a lot of Generation 1 Pokemon fell victim to power creep, as bigger, badder counterparts were introduced, Mewtwo only became more powerful with time. In the beginning, Mewtwo had the highest base stats in the game, and with Amnesia could boost them even higher. Psychic types were incredibly unbalanced back then, with the only super effective type being Bug, and only 3 weak Bug type moves in the entire game. And to top it off, Mewtwo could also learn Blizzard and Recover. In Gens 2 and 3, more legends were introduced that had competing stats and advantages, and Dark type was introduced to check Psychic types overall, and Ghost types now dealt super effective damage to Psychic as well. But Mewtwo's high speed kept it at the head of the pack when it came to sweeping, and the added weaknesses did little to knock it down. In Gen 4, Mewtwo was finally dethroned in terms of highest base stat total by the super beefed up new legendaries, but its versatility still kept it at the top of the pack. And by Gen 6, its 2 Mega Evolutions put it back on the top of the stat rankings. Mewtwo has consistently been one of the strongest, if not the strongest Pokemon in the entire game for every generation. Something no other legendary or really no other Pokemon period can even compare with. For this reason alone, Mewtwo has earned the title of #1 best legendary. We may not see him back in Smash Bros anytime soon, but he'll always have a place in our hearts and ban lists. So there you have it, the top 5 best legendary Pokemon. Perhaps in the future, I'll do a top 10 personal favorite legendary Pokemon list that ranks the legends based on their lore and design. But for now, I'll leave it at that and let you all tell me your favorite legends in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click here to subscribe for more Pokemon videos. See ya!